Hi everyone. Today, I want to share a story that completely changed my life. A story about love, betrayal, and ultimate revenge. We were planning our dream wedding. Everything was supposed to be perfect. But then I discovered something that shattered my entire world. And instead of calling it off right away, I decided to play the long game. Stay with me until the end, because what happened on the night of our wedding rehearsal left everyone speechless. Let me take you back to where it all began. 6 years ago. I was at a friend's birthday party. That's where I met Emma. She walked in wearing this simple blue dress. Her hair fell in soft waves, and her smile. God, her smile could light up the darkest room. She wasn't loud. She wasn't trying to get attention. She just had this calm, warm energy that pulled you in. I introduced myself. We talked. And honestly, the rest of the night disappeared. We sat in the corner, away from the noise, just laughing. At jokes that weren't even that funny. At life. At each other. When I walked her home that night, something inside me whispered, "This is it. She's the one." The first year? Pure magic. Late-night drives just to look at the stars. Cooking disasters that ended in pizza deliveries. Lazy Sundays with coffee and movies. I never felt so alive. We weren't just lovers, we were best friends. We shared everything, our dreams, our fears, our stupid inside jokes. 2 years in, I proposed. No fireworks, no big crowd, just the two of us, on a mountain hike. Sunset painting the sky. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped the ring. She cried. I cried. She said yes. From that day on, life felt perfect. We talked about kids, a house, traveling. Everything I ever wanted was falling into place. But here's the thing about perfect pictures. Sometimes the cracks don't show until it's too late. Fast forward to last year. Wedding planning was in full swing. Picking venues, cake tasting, arguing over flower arrangements and seating charts. You know, the usual pre-wedding chaos. Emma was excited. At least that's what I thought. She spent hours scrolling Pinterest, sending me dress ideas, talking about how magical our day was going to be. But then, something changed. At first it was subtle. She started coming home late. Extra projects at work, she said. Her phone? Always face down, notifications silenced. And every time I walked into the room, she'd lock her screen like lightning. I told myself, don't be paranoid. She's planning surprises for the wedding, right? That's what I wanted to believe. But deep down, a little voice was whispering, something's off. One night, we were watching Netflix. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it so fast, like it was on fire, and walked into the bathroom. I sat there, staring at the blank TV screen, my chest tightening. When she came back, I asked casually, "Who was that?" She smiled, but her eyes didn't. "Oh, just Sarah, talking about the bachelorette party." I nodded, pretending to buy it. But inside, alarms were screaming. A few days later, fate handed me the first piece of truth. I came home early, Emma was in the shower. Her phone was on the nightstand, buzzing again. My hands trembled as I reached for it. One message glowed on the screen. "Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you." My blood ran cold. My heart, it wasn't beating anymore. It was pounding like a war drum inside my chest. I scrolled, and every scroll felt like a stab. Flirty texts, heart emojis, plans for next time. And then, the photo. Emma, smiling, kissing a man I knew. Liam, our wedding photographer. I froze. My jaw clenched so hard I thought my teeth would crack. The phone almost slipped from my hand. I kept scrolling. Hotel receipts in her email, late-night messages. And here's the kicker. He was giving her a special discount on photography. I wanted to laugh and throw up at the same time. The sound of the shower stopped, water dripping, her footsteps getting closer. I locked the phone and placed it exactly where it was, sat down on the edge of the bed, tried to steady my breathing. She walked in, wrapped in a towel, humming. "Hey, you're home early," she smiled. And at that moment, I wanted to scream, to shove the phone in her face, to demand answers. But instead, I smiled back. "Yeah, just wanted to see you." Because in that split second, a different thought hit me. What's worse than being cheated on? Being humiliated publicly. That night, while she slept peacefully beside me, I copied everything. Screenshots, photos, voice notes. I stared at her sleeping face, and all I could think was, "You have no idea what's coming." The next morning, I acted normal. Kissed her on the forehead. "Have a great day, babe." She smiled, clueless. And that was the start of my plan. For weeks, I played the perfect fiancée, holding her hand at cake tastings, laughing during floral appointments, even joking with Liam when he dropped by. Every time I shook his hand, I imagined crushing it. Every time I saw his smug smile, I pictured breaking his jaw. But I stayed calm, because revenge is a dish best served cold. I started planning everything. I organized files like a detective, labeled screenshots by date, saved hotel receipts in a separate folder, even backed up the evidence to a USB drive. And every night, lying next to her, I thought about the same thing. The wedding rehearsal, the night before the big day, with both families and close friends there. That's when it would happen. That's when the mask would fall.
Finally, the night came. The rehearsal dinner. The stage I had been building for weeks. The venue was stunning. Golden lights strung across the ceiling, white roses on every table. The soft sound of a piano playing in the background. Emma looked breathtaking. Hair curled perfectly, that white rehearsal dress hugging her frame. She was laughing with her bridesmaids, glowing like a woman who had it all. And Liam? He was there too, camera in hand, snapping photos like he wasn't the biggest piece of trash in the room. I shook his hand when he arrived. "Hey man, glad you could make it," I said with a smile so wide it hurt my cheeks. He grinned back. "Wouldn't miss it for the world." If only he knew what was coming. Dinner went smoothly. Toasts, laughter, parents sharing embarrassing childhood stories. Everyone relaxed, everyone happy, everyone clueless. And then it was my turn. I stood up, glass in hand. Ting, ting, ting! The sound of my fork against the glass echoed through the room. "Can I have everyone's attention?" The chatter died. All eyes turned to me. Emma smiled at me from across the table, her eyes soft, trusting. God, if only she knew. I took a deep breath and said, "I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It means the world to us." And I thought, what better way to celebrate this moment than with a little surprise? Whispers of excitement rippled through the guests. Emma tilted her head, curious. "A surprise?" she asked, smiling. "Oh, yes," I said. "A little video I put together, a slideshow of our love story." The lights dimmed. The projector screen lit up. It started sweet. Photos of us on vacation, beach sunsets, Christmas mornings. Videos of us laughing in the kitchen, dancing like idiots to old songs. Guests smiled. Emma wiped a tear from her eye. She even reached for my hand, and for a moment, it almost hurt to do what I was about to do. Almost. Because then the next slide appeared. A screenshot. Her text messages. "Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you." A collective gasp filled the room. Brows furrowed, mouths opened, and before anyone could process it, the next slide hit. Another screenshot, more texts, more proof. Then a photo. Emma, in his arms, kissing him like I never existed. The room erupted in whispers. "What the hell? Is this real?" Someone dropped a glass. It shattered against the floor, echoing through the silence. Emma shot up from her chair. "What is this?" she screamed, her voice shaking. Her eyes darted from the screen to me, wild with panic. "This," I said calmly, "is the truth." "No, no, this is out of context," she cried, her hands trembling. "Really? Because it looks pretty clear to me." I clicked again, photo after photo, receipts, screenshots, hotel confirmations. The final slide, big, bold letters. "There will be no wedding." Gasps turned to silence, pure, heavy silence. Emma collapsed into her chair, sobbing. Her mother stood up. "How dare you embarrass her like this?" she yelled. I turned to her, calm as ice. "How dare she embarrass me by sleeping with our wedding photographer?" Her mom froze, looked at the screen, and sat back down without another word. Liam, he bolted for the door like a coward, head down, muttering something about needing air. I watched him go, and for the first time in months, I smiled. I set down the remote, picked up my jacket, and walked toward the door. Before leaving, I turned back one last time. Emma was still crying, mascara running down her cheeks, the perfect picture of broken promises. Good luck, Emma. You're going to need it. And then I walked out. No screaming, no drama, just pure silence behind me.
I walked out of that room, and with every step I took toward the exit, I felt lighter. For months, I had been living with anger burning inside me, but now it was gone. All that was left was silence and freedom. Outside, the night was calm. The stars above the venue glimmered, mocking the chaos I had just left behind. I stood by my car, took a deep breath, and smiled for real for the first time in weeks. My phone buzzed. Emma. Of course. Message after message. Please, let's talk. You don't understand. This was a mistake. A mistake? No. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. A mistake is leaving the lights on overnight. This was a choice. Over and over again. I didn't reply. Not that night. Not the next morning. Not ever. The fallout was brutal. Her family called mine, cried, begged me to reconsider. They said, "She's sorry. It didn't mean anything." But you don't kiss someone like that if it doesn't mean anything. Friends texted me. Some were on my side. Some said I should have handled it privately. But here's the thing. Cheating isn't private. It's a betrayal that kills trust. And I wanted the truth in the open. Emma didn't stop trying. Weeks turned into months. She sent long emails, apologies that sounded like confessions mixed with excuses. I was stressed. I felt alone. I didn't mean to hurt you. I read every word and then deleted them. Because when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. 6 months later, my life looked nothing like it did before. I moved to a new city, got a new job, started traveling, met new people, laughed without feeling guilty for smiling, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Sometimes, late at night, I'd scroll through my old gallery. Photos of us, the trips, the smiles, and I'd wonder, was it any of it real? Did she love me? Or was I just a placeholder until something better came along? But then I'd look around my new apartment, hear the sound of my own laughter in a new city, feel the weight of happiness that didn't depend on someone else. And I'd know the answer. It doesn't matter. Because the past, it's gone. And the future, that's mine. Emma still tries from time to time. A random message, a "hope you're doing well." I never respond. Because here's the truth. When you betray someone's trust, you don't just break the relationship. You break the foundation of who you thought you were, and that can't be rebuilt. So if you've been betrayed, listen carefully. You can let it break you, or you can let it make you stronger. You can cry, you can scream, you can feel every ounce of pain, and then you get up and you take your power back. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't anger. It isn't ruining their life. It's living yours so well that they regret losing you every single day. And trust me, they will. Thanks for listening. If this story hit you hard, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories like this, and share your own in the comments, because someone out there needs to hear them. Until next time, stay strong. And never, ever settle for less than you deserve.